All right, so we have the spotter perk, and which is pretty much just sit rep, I believe. And it said something about
But you
marking
can mark it. Yeah,
stuff
it'll
for your
show up for your
teammates.
teammates. Yeah.
That's I'm not sure how well it's gonna work, but I do think that's pretty cool, and I like that that's like a team play type of perk. I think that we need more of those though, like more things that benefit your teammates.
I
And
don't
I'm not
know.
saying go full MOBA or anything. I don't want it to be a fucking MOBA. I'm just saying like something with some more teamwork oriented shit, kind of like that.
Which, well, if you notice, that's what this game is. I mean, most people are running in pairs now because it is a more team-oriented game. But the spotter perk, I'm not 100% sure how it worked in game. But what I don't want to see is a bunch of red dots all over my map if I'm 100 meters away from a claymore.
No, I don't want that either.
We already have the blue dots. I don't need red dots.
No, I want to just see the silhouette or whatever through the wall, like in red, like in like Modern Warfare 2 sit and
Say
stuff.
I'm like 5 meters away from a claymore, or maybe 10. You know, I'd be okay with seeing it if my teammate looked at it and marked it. But I don't
Yeah,
want to. I don't want to see it across the map. I don't want to spawn in and see
I don't
50
either.
red dots.
No, I don't want it to like obscure my vision or fuck with my radar. I don't want any of that. The next perk we have is Tracker, which we didn't get to use,
It's
but I
just a
assume
repeat
it's
perk
just gonna
though.
use.
It's exactly what it was in Black Ops 3.
Yeah, I'm sure. So I hope it works well. I'm not sure if anything in Black Ops 3 counters Tracker.
Cold blooded, or
Oh,
whatever it
okay.
was called in that game.
Is it cold blooded in this game too? The
Yeah,
Tracker.
pretty sure.
Okay, that's cool.
I don't think they're gonna do it
All right,
with the blind eye perk. Or
fine.
no, it was cold blooded. That's what it was. Cold blooded is. I keep thinking cold blooded keeps you off radar because that's what Modern Warfare 2 was. But
Yeah. So the lethals, the frag grenade. I mean, frag that's pretty self-explanatory. The
actually, the
grenade
damage is
damage in
shit.
this game is good. Like it's perfect. It's not overpowered like Modern Warfare 2 or COD 4, but it's not garbage like every fucking game after Modern Warfare 2. So I think that the damage is pretty spot on.
I
I'm
do
happy
wish
with
they
it.
would change the icon though. One thing I really liked in Infinite is you notice now how we went back to the
Oh, the
crosshairs.
ticks.
I want
Yeah, I
the
like
ticks
the
with the
circle.
crosshair. I like the circle with the red line or orange line filling up.
I think Ghost did that too.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
prefer
like
that
that
better.
much better. But I know the timer, so I usually just count in my head anyway.
Well, the crosshairs tick anyways.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds for a detonation on a frag. So usually it's like you have 3 seconds to toss it for it to actually hit anything that you're trying to throw it at. But I hardly use the frag. I use the Semtex like the whole time.
There are so many syntaxes.
I'm just more of a Semtex guy. I just like to go where I'm throwing it. I don't care. I don't really like it to roll around, and I don't really cook it. I like to just like stick it to a spot and have someone run right
I
to it.
like my cooking and my ricochets for the frag. If
It
I want to
definitely has
bounce it off and bank it off
its
something, I'm doing it.
yeah, it definitely has its advantages. I'm not gonna say that it doesn't. So claymores, we already really talked about claymores, but
The
I
sound
love their
is
sound.
amazing.
Yeah, it's always jarring, but in like a really good way.
I think the range
And
should be decreased slightly because I feel like there's a few times like the claymores in this game have more range than we have in the past. Because when I've come up on a claymore in Modern Warfare Remastered, I know the distance. I know how I can walk and not set it off. In this game, it's deceptive because there's more range than normal.
okay, but you don't want to nerf the damage, do you?
No, no, I think if you step on a claymore, you should be killed unless you're wearing
Okay,
the
I
perk,
think that's fair. I hate that shit though. Get like hit markered by a claymore, like jump over it and get hit markered. I hate that shit. That pisses me off.
which is a huge complaint from the newer COD generation that you can't jump over claymores.
Yeah. Well, did they even play Ghosts? Did they even experience the
Oh,
IEDs?
IED, yeah, PTSD, yeah.
At least claymores explode one way. IEDs, like you were just completely
You
unavoidable.
set it off, you were dead.
Yep, every time. Um, so next is C4, which we only got to use on a default class, I think.
Felt really good. Was powerful.
I
Wasn't as It wasn't C4 spammy as we've had it before. Black Ops 2 and MW3, that's all it was C4 tossed around the map, blown up around corners. We didn't have much of this.
Recon and then just chucking C4.
It's so broken.
The proximity mine, I don't think I killed. I killed maybe one person with one of those.
I killed a few people with it, but I often used it to kill myself.
I I hate how like you can't throw it more than like a foot.
No.
I want it to have the same arc as like the MW3 bouncing Betty had.
Granted, I don't know how comfortable I would be with throwing a giant explosive disc.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, if you throw it, it's not going to blow up next to you.
Yeah, good point.
The throwing knife we only got to use in the 2v2s, but the throwing knife felt really nice.
I love how they brought back the animation from Infinite Warfare. When you pull it out, you slide it up your hand, and you hold it by the blade.
I didn't notice that.
You hold it, yeah, when you're holding the throwing knife.
Biospikes?
Yeah, you're holding it in your hand by the blade, and you can see it visually on your screen. I love that.
Yeah, instead of like the old games where it just had the crosshair.
Mm-hmm.
Thermite was cool. I actually did get killed by that like twice.
Thermite. I don't think I.
In Grozna Raid headquarters.
What is the difference between the thermite and Molotov?
The thermite will like it's like a Semtex almost. Like it'll stick to a spot and just burn for like 10 seconds. Whereas like the Molotov will like blow up on impact and it'll spread out, but it doesn't last very long.
Okay. I didn't bother with either of those.
They both felt pretty good. I thought the thermite was cool. I think it could use a buff though. It didn't seem like it did a lot of damage. Because it doesn't cover a large area, so it's fairly easy to avoid. I think that if you step on it or something, you should lose at least 80% of your health. So now we're down to tacticals. Flash, we kind of went over. People think it's OP. I think they're good, and I don't think that they should be nerfed. Yeah. Stuns, I thought were kind of shitty.
Stuns, for the first time, I preferred the flashbang over the stun this year. At least in
I know,
beta.
I never do that. I always prefer the stun.
It just didn't feel powerful enough.
It's fucking weird. No, it didn't. Smoke grenades?
Need to be fixed.
Are they still broken?
When, you know, the smoke grenade, the actual smoke animation and everything looks really nice. It's really effective. But when you're standing inside the smoke, there's a circle around you that is completely clear, rather than having smoke up in your face.
That's a little weird.
Needs
I didn't really notice that.
I feel like that is.
I know that
wrong.
someone said they were broken. Like, you know, some person can see smoke and the other person can't. Like, won't. So it's like there's a discrepancy of like what people see. But that was from the alpha. I'm not sure if they fixed it.
I'm sure they'll fix that.
Nobody fucking used smoke at all. So I really didn't.
Smoke was nice for headquarters.
I thought the animation for smoke in Infinite looked better.
Yeah, definitely did.
That was definitely the best looking smoke I've ever seen. The stim.
I think it was pretty well balanced because there is that slight delay where you stab yourself and then it activates.
Yeah, and I didn't feel like I needed it, but it definitely like gave me a little boost when I did. So like it was. I never felt like it was overpowered, and I like Black Ops 4. Like I never felt like it was necessary because Black Ops 4 it actually is in this game. It's not, you regen pretty quick. Snapshot grenade. I like the snapshot grenade a lot.
It was when I first started using it, I didn't know what it was, and then like 2 days into the beta, I figured out, oh, that's the snapshot grenade. Really good grenade.
It's like the threat grenade of.
I like the color, the
Advanced.
orange thermal color that comes up when you get tagged by one.
The gas grenades I've gotten hit by before and used them a couple times. I think they were on the default class. I like them. I think
I hated constantly flinching when I was stuck on the cloud. But yeah, they were nice.
I don't think the heartbeat wasn't on anything, and I don't think the decoy was either.
No, but we got a little tease of the heartbeat for the bomb and defuse. Or not
Yeah,
defuse.
we did. Cyber tech.
Yeah.
I don't think the decoy was on anything, was it?
Decoy
I don't
was in
remember
the
seeing it.
yeah, it was in the beta, and for the first time since the very first time I saw Decoy, I fell for it.
Damn.
I was playing on Gresner Raid in the center of the map, and somebody threw one, and I went outside and fell for it, and somebody got me.
Sad.
It was. I was ready to uninstall.
I honestly didn't see it, like, anywhere, and I don't think whatever class it was on, I guess I didn't use.
Decoy grenades were never really used though throughout any of the CODs.
I used them on my sniper class in Black Ops 1, but that was really it. And it never fooled anybody. Like, they just
I guess
weren't
I'm just
convincing at all.
trash.
No, I mean, I don't know how good these ones are. The other ones just weren't convincing at all.
They lasted for a
Like, you
very
could,
long time.
in this game or in...
Hmm.
So we'll go to kill streaks now. So we kind of already mentioned the personal radar, like
Useless.
how it's useless when they have the minimap on you. It's nice and useful when they don't. UAV, works as you'd think it would.
I feel like they're more brittle this year though, because they were fairly easy to shoot down.
That's not necessarily a bad thing, though.
No, I prefer it that way. I did see somebody was proposing the idea of causing the UAV to stay up less, like changing the timer to nerf it a bit to kind of combat Ghost. But I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue this year.
No, I think I wouldn't want anything less than the standard 30. Anything less would feel like I'm getting cheap, like
Yeah,
gypped out of
especially because
kill
they
streak.
increased the kills this year.
So it's
It's
4.
4.
It's not even 3 anymore. The cruise missile, aka the Big Lenny.
Oh, fix the bug, please.
I only got that bug once.
I got it
But
5 times in a row.
The animation is a little long, but it doesn't bother me. I think it looks really cool. And the cruise missile works really well.
I do wish they would either speed up the animation or cut it out. Because I like how it takes forever and you have time to react to it, but I think it should be shortened up, maybe just a bit. Because I feel like a sitting duck when I'm scared to use one.
I usually don't use one until I die. Especially since kill streaks don't loop.
Yeah.
So if I die and I'm not on a streak, then I don't care. I'll just sit in a corner and use it real quick. The precision airstrike, aka the A10 strafe run. Everyone already hates it because you called in with the binoculars and not the laptop or tablet, whatever.
I prefer it with the binocs, but I don't like that it's not dropping bombs. It's just a gun run. I feel like it's less
Yeah, I feel
powerful.
like
It's not worth the amount of kills.
I also feel like the precision airstrike, I feel like it's misleading. Like, it'd be cool if it was like, I don't know. And I also don't like that you can't change, you can't choose the direction they come in.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
if there's 2 of them, I wish they came in maybe an X formation on whatever spot you chose.
would be nice.
I think it'd be kind of cool. The VTOL jet, aka the Harrier, already disappointed in it. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's that good personally.
I felt like it was pretty nice. I mean, the VTOLs, it could just have been luck. That's kind of my thing for games, but the VTOL was getting me tons of kills. I feel like it's going to be an extremely good paired up with kill chain.
Maybe. I guess we'll have to see if people really rock cold-blooded or not. But I don't know. I never felt like it was that great. And also, the fact that it doesn't shoot down helicopters in this game like it did in
Needs to.
MW2 really fucking sucks. It needs to, because that was super cool. And it was actually, I feel like it's something not a lot of people really knew about, but it was a reason that I would run the Harriers. Because if someone got a chopper gunner, I can just literally take it out with a Harrier.
It's
And I
definitely
thought
nice.
that was awesome. So the chopper gunner, I really liked it.
Yeah, it felt great, and giving it rockets this year that were actually powerful was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. I hope they don't nerf that. Support helo, I feel like it was not nearly as good as the actual payload.
Nowhere near as no. It was good,
I
but it
don't
was
think it was
nowhere
worth the
near as
11
good.
kills.
That could
I
use
really don't
a
think it was worth the
buff.
11 kills. The chopper gunner is a 10, and it's so much better.
Yes. Can agree on that
Let's
one.
see. Field upgrades. So the deployable cover, which was used a lot. I like it overall. I don't think it's too hard to destroy, and I like that like it doesn't it like covers like the way like your nipples and up are showing, but you can also mount on it, which is nice.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I know. I noticed you can't in certain doorways you can't place them in because it comes up with the error like too close to the door, which was
Yeah,
nice because I don't want people to just sit there and spam those on doors.
no, that'd be annoying as shit. Um, Munitions box. It's pretty fucking self-explanatory. Although in that footage we did see people taking guns from it, like you couldn't like the ghosts one, but that wasn't a thing in the beta.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure why they changed that. I hope they change it back for the upcoming second week for the beta, but
Me
hopefully.
too. The recon drone. It was fine. Like there's nothing wrong with it. It just I feel like it shouldn't. I don't know. It takes quite a while. It's one of the slow ones.
Yeah, I think the recon, the speed of it needs to be increased to kind of match the Modern Warfare 3 recon drone. Um,
Like the speed of the drone, like
yeah,
itself, like its
the
movement
movement,
speed.
yes.
Okay.
It lasted a pretty good while.
It does feel kind of like hard to maneuver.
Yeah, and they're it's another brittle type item too. Those were a couple shots and they were dead, which is fine by me. I mean, it's
Yeah.
weird trying to hit aerial kill streaks when they're like that.
So operators. So let's go for the coalition ones. Uh, Thorn. What do you think about Thorn?
In general, the coalition operators I wasn't huge on. I mean, obviously we haven't seen the Warcom ones or the other ones, but Thorn was okay. His I based my operator based on the general like uniform they had and the
Hmm.
execution. The SAS style where the default had the and with Thorn, which I liked, was the dark top and the
Yeah, that
multi-cam ish
gray and
pants.
yeah, it does look good. I usually play, obviously, I always play like the black guy, but like Thorn's British, so I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I don't want to. I want to play as you know, good old fucking down south Georgia black guy, but I guess I
The
can't.
thing that got to me though was whenever you're playing in the Modern Warfare campaigns, I don't remember ever seeing a black SAS soldier.
No, but there were ones in Task Force 141, but that's because it was like a multinational group.
Yeah, see, but it states
They usually had
specifically
like
that
American
that
flags on their
faction was
patches.
SAS. Yeah, like Modern Warfare the COD 4 had Griggs, but Griggs
Yeah,
wasn't SAS.
no, he's a Marine. I'm sure there'll be more to fuck around with. I'm sure they'll add operators and stuff in the full game.
Maybe we'll get some. Well, maybe this is just like a slight tease of characters. Maybe we'll get them this next beta, and there's actually more coming.
I hope so. So Charlie, I know that you liked her execution.
The execution was I liked it better than Thorn's. I know Thorn had the hard hitting one, but I liked the close quarters combat part of Charlie's.
D-Day, that's who I preferred to play as.
D-Day is probably the better looking character out of all the four coalition we got, and the execution was great.
I don't think anybody liked Reigns. Reigns was like whatever.
Buckeye, Buckeye played as Reigns,
Yeah, yeah, he did.
but he had the default
So
execution, so I didn't care for it.
lame. Yeah, Alliance, or Allegiance. I mean, Minotaur. I played as him and then
Beach
stopped playing as
Bog
him and then
Minotaur.
started again. Yeah, Beach Bog Minotaur with his blue tank top.
Cool, cool looking guy and everything, but I couldn't get over the tank top.
Me neither. What made me start playing as him again though was like his voice. Like he would like get hurt and just like say have like one like Russian one-liners and shit. But they were like one-liners as in like cheesy. He would just say like "da" or like "it's up to me" or something. Like I don't know. He had a cool voice and he looked pretty cool. So I kept playing as Minotaur. Zane and his fucking Battlefield 1 looking cape.
He just reminds me of some like African warlord.
I
Um,
I thought his execution was cool.
his execution is cool. I did like that, but it's not my kind of character.
I really don't hate him though. I think he's
No,
pretty cool. I just laugh at the cape. It just looks Battlefield 1E to me. Kruger was yours.
Kruger was. I loved the blanket over the head, whatever you would call it.
I like that
Execution
he's
was my favorite.
like the netting. I like that he's totally like geared up. Like he
Yeah,
just looks like the most like I guess tactical or whatever you'd call it of the Allegiance faction. And then there's Sid.
definitely the most underused character. I barely
Yeah,
ever saw any Sids, but the execution was kind of cool. I just preferred
yeah, I liked it.
Kruger's.
Yeah, I think actually D-Day's execution would be my favorite. I like the tactical hatchet thing or tomahawk or whatever
I
you
just
call
want to
it.
see more executions.
So maps, Grozny Raid. Everyone other than you hated it. I don't hate it. I just hated it on domination, which I went over and I posted a picture on the Reddit
Was
of
Spawn
where it
Trappy.
proposed a new flag to be. I just feel like the whole top half of the map is unused in Dom.
It is. It definitely is.
So I think the flow is terrible in domination. I really do like it in TDM. I actually really like it in headquarters, and I thought it was the best map for cyber attack.
Grasna Raid was my favorite map out of the four that we got total. Um,
Mine was
I like the
definitely
verticality.
Azir Cave.
I like the setting we were in. Just the whole
Yeah,
look of it was nice.
right.
The sight lines, even the lanes. I mean, they were long lanes that you could snipe down. Truly snipe down.
But that's also mostly the top half of the map, which was unused in Dom, and that sucked. I would like to see like the top half of the map be like snipers, like going at it, and then like the one building on A side could pretty much be counter sniped by the
Hmm.
building in the other corner, in like the southeast corner, that has a two-story, and because you can see that big hole in the wall. So it would be a really cool dynamic. They're just not using it. And I think that 10v10 should have four flags anyway. If they're making
They need a
the
flag in the
20v20
trenches.
have, yeah, that's where I wanted it to be. And I think a flag should be moved.
I think where the placement is of the flags now, moving the flag from or moving B flag to the trenches, or adding an extra flag there or something. I think they're equal distance. Because I did see your thing, and I saw where you moved it to. I think it's just slightly more ahead than the other team.
Yeah, and it's that side in general. It's way easier to cap B from A side. But I propose that it would be in like the middle of the street, which would provide like multiple ways to approach it, but also to have like another tank or whatever in the middle of the street as
Yeah, they
like
kind of
cover.
just have that.
It's
They
kind of
just kind of have
like
that flag hold up in a corner.
yeah, it's kind of like that. It would kind of be like that main road in the Ghost map, Warhawk or whatever. I think that's what it was called,
Hmm.
where they have like the vehicles on the road that you can hide behind. It would be kind of like that, but I think that would balance it a lot better. So Hackney, we pretty much already went over
Hated.
Hackney. You hated Hackney. I like Hackney,
Oh, that was a
but we played it
mess.
way too often.
It became my water
Um,
crash.
Azir Cave is definitely my favorite map
It
of the
reminded
data.
me a lot of Afghan.
Yeah, me too. It sucked though because aerial kill streaks are pretty much useless for anyone who was in the cave. But I don't know. I think that it flowed really well and that there was a lot of variety in that map. Um,
There was a lot of complaints about the lighting though, about the cave being too dark.
I didn't think it was too dark at all. I didn't have any problem spotting anybody.
if you're aiming outside of the cave to the inside of the cave, I can understand because I struggle with that sometimes. But for the most part, I'm fine with it.
What about Gunrunner?
Gunrunner, I really liked. It was when I first saw the footage, that was the map that I wanted to play on. I feel like Gunrunner flows really well.
Yeah, I like it. I don't like it as much as your cave, but I think it's really good.
It's probably my second favorite map is Gunrunner.
So what about the 2v2 maps? So there's King. King is not a favorite of mine at all. Really didn't care for that one.
It's like a wannabe
Kill House.
yeah, wannabe kill house, but it's just not there.
I don't like the like uh, little things on the sides of the map that you can go in, like the hallways. I really didn't like those. I feel like
it kind
people
of
would
ruins
just
the
like
flow.
chill in there. Pine. I know you fucking hated Pine.
I love
thought
the
Pine was
scenery,
awesome.
I love the setting, but I just couldn't play Pine. It's my play style did not work with Pine, and that's the only reason I dislike that map.
I thought Pine was great. It was definitely my favorite. Um, but a close second to me was actually Stack.
Stack, I
I
love
think
Stack.
Stack was the best like symmetrical one.
Stack was my second favorite one we had.
I know that you like Speedball. Fucking hated Speedball. It was the head
Speedball was my
glitchiest
favorite.
map of the alpha by far.
It was.
Uh,
But
Docks I actually thought was
I liked how
really good.
everybody on Speedball would sprint straight to the middle. And that's where most people fought. I mean, people would run straight up to
Yeah,
that centerpiece, and it was whoever reacted first. Usually you had your other teammate, they would sit back kind of more in the spawn and watch where the other guy would go. But there was always that one other person that would run right up with me, and we would, whoever reacted first, and that's who got the advantage.
yeah. It was hit or miss. I think. I mean,
So
I'm
the other
not
team
crazy
caught on,
about
and they
it,
sat
but
in their spawn and waited for me to run up to him.
yeah, that too. I thought Docks was good.
Dux is great.
I really like Docks. It's I probably like it just about as much as I like Pine, but I definitely played Pine a lot more because they added Docks on like the last day. All right, so the game modes. I mean, we had. I guess we'll just kind of take it piece by piece. So there was 6v6 TDM, headquarters, and Dom, and they were on all the maps except for Graza. So I guess it was just Hackney, Azir, and Gunrunner. But I didn't have a problem with any of them really on those three maps. I thought they played pretty much as expected.
Yeah, it was just the same old game modes. I mean, there wasn't really anything I had to complain about.
Then there was the 6v6 night vision, NVGs. I liked that mode a lot more than I thought I would.
I am horrible at that mode, but I really liked it too.
I think I was better at that than the normal mode. For
I
whatever
struggled with
reason,
it.
I don't know. It just really clicked with me. But I was annoyed that we got Hackney Yard like every single game. I don't think I
That's
ever
all
played
we
on
got was
Azir Cave.
that yard.
I don't know if I ever got to play on Azir Cave.
I think we played it. We played the cave map once.
I don't
But
think we got
we probably don't
Gunrunner
remember
at all.
anything. I don't think Gunrunner had it, but I don't.
Or Grozna.
Grosnot might not have had it either because it was a 6v6 mode.
We just got Hackney every time.
I hated it. Hacking,
Would you like it more if it was Azir Cave more often?
I would have liked more diversity,
Yeah.
and the cave being in with the night vision was cool.
So 2v2 gunfight. It seems pretty much unchanged from the alpha, other than maybe like the footstep audio and stuff. What do you think about that in general?
In general, the mode was really good. It's like a more competitive face-off.
Yeah, with no created class.
Which, in a way, I mean,
I'd
I
like
guess
to
it
see a
puts people on equal
traditional
terms.
3v3 face-off like return though,
That would be nice.
or at least like a 4-player team tack. So 10v10 Grozny raid. This
Loved it.
is like the controversial opinion. Again, TDM I liked it, Headquarters I liked it, Cyber Attack I really liked it. It was just Dom I hated on that map just because I feel like they really messed that one up, like with the placement and the amount of flags.
Yeah, Grasner Raid was my favorite. I didn't really have too much of an issue with anything, whether it would be the lighting, the lanes.
I
just
didn't have
hated
an issue with the map
hard.
design at all. It was just the Dom flags. Everything else I think was perfectly fine. I don't like care that it wasn't a 3-lane map. I think it's played perfectly well.
I just hated how
It
the
felt like
grassy
a
trench was just never used.
it felt like a Battlefield 1 map almost.
Yeah, kinda.
It felt like that like that Amiens. I probably pronounced that right. Amiens,
Amiens, I think.
whatever. That map. It kind
Mhm.
of reminded me of that. In a good way though, because I actually liked that one in Battlefield 1. Because it felt like a real city. It didn't feel like, 3-lane horse shit. Even though I think it might have actually had 3 lanes, like 3 bridges you could cross.
Yeah, it did.
But it branched out though, and then like curved,
You
like
could
in
go anywhere and everywhere
different
though.
areas. Yeah, in all the buildings it had verticality. So, so cyber attack in general, what did you think?
I would have. I was a huge fan of the mode, but I would have liked it even more if the headshots were instant kills and instant downs that you couldn't be rezzed afterwards.
Yeah, I was thinking about search and rescue earlier today, and I was thinking, what I loved about search and rescue? Not just reviving your teammates, but denying revives.
Hmm.
I think that you should be able to deny revives in cyber attack, especially since they have the entirety of the round to be rezzed. I think you should be able to when someone's down, like they should be squirming or something, like headshot them or something while they're squirming and deny the revive. I think that'd be cool.
You could knock them into last stand
In what?
without them having the handgun.
So they'd be crawling around like Apex or Fortnite.
Yeah, and you would have to down them yourself.
Yeah, I could handle that. I think that'd be cool.
Just make it to where they're not at 100 health when they drop though,
No,
which
no,
is just be
definitely
1 or 2 bullets to kill them when they're knocked.
not. Realism mode.
I loved it and hated it. I really liked how there wasn't any hit markers. I thought that was really interesting, and I often enjoyed it. But I hated it because it made me feel like I was playing hardcore.
Yeah, I hated it because I also felt like I was playing hardcore, but I wasn't. I just feel like I can deal with the no hit markers and I could deal with the no kill feed or whatever, but to have core health with all of those just felt terrible. I really wasn't a fan at all. Even I think that I'd compromise like no kill feed, but give me the hit markers and give me like tactical health from infinite, and I think that'd be a good mode.
Would be nice.
If you're not gonna have hit markers though, you gotta die in like a shot or two. Can't take as long as it was taken because it just threw it all off entirely for me. I ended up hating the mode. Activision IDs. I mean, we've seen some shit. You'll see on the screen right now a screenshot I took of a certain name we saw. Tyler said he saw one
man.
where it was just a text swastika. I didn't see that one though. Did you get a screenshot of that?
I didn't get a screenshot of it, but there is a guy running around with it's 2 swastikas in his name. That's all it is, just 2 swastikas.
Jesus Christ. I do like Activision IDs overall though, especially since it's crossplay. And also it takes the numbers out of my name, which is great.
Took my lines out, so I'm a little mad about that, but I can
You
deal
can
with
change it.
Yeah, I can put them back in.
Mountain.
I think they
strong.
back to the Activision IDs. I think they
Yeah,
might need to do some kind of censoring.
yeah. I think you can't just fucking make your name like the N word in all caps or 2 swastikas.
They
Like,
could
that's
do
fucked up, dude.
like I proposed to you. I think they could do what they did when the YouTubers and other players went to the events and stuff, where it has Alpha 1, Alpha 2. They could change it that way to censor it rather than putting a bunch of asterisks or something.
I just think that they should make people change their Activision IDs if they have names like that. I mean, you can't. I don't think you can make a PSN with like those kinds of names. Like, why should you be able to make an Activision ID like that? Like, I'm not for censorship in any way, but it's like that's a little much, don't you think?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Like, if your name is like Jew Killer 69, like, dude, fuck you, change that name. Like, that's terrible. Like,
Speaking
I
of
can't.
speaking of people doing name changes in the newest Avenger movie they put out in game, there's a scene there where Thor's playing it, and the guy's username is Noobmaster69.
Mhm.
Somebody made that their Activision ID and was running around with that name in the beta.
Wow. Any strong opinions on mounting at all?
I think people need to get over the idea of it's used for cover, that it's a leading mechanic, because that's not what it is. It's a mounting mechanic to
It's for stabilization.
stability.
I
People
I
just need to
like
get over
mounting.
it. I love it. I
I've gotten
mount
a
all the
lot
time.
of kills in like a Azir cave, especially when I know someone's coming for B flag or whatever. I'll just hunker down and mount real quick and just laser them. And I don't think, yeah, I mean, people can argue like it promotes camping, whatever. But I mean, it's just that was just like a defensive move. Not every single move has to be offensive.
If I know you're running towards me and I mount for zero point 0.2 seconds to wait for you to come around the corner, don't call me a camper. I
It's
hate
also
that.
not camping if you're using a sniper rifle. It's not. Does not count.
Aggressive sniping.
And also, isn't it fun when someone's camping and you just get mad because they've killed you 2 or 3 times and you just go over there and fuck them up? That's part of the. That's some of the best shit from Modern Warfare 2. Some piece of shit was camping on the crane or whatever in high rise and he's spawn trapping you and you just fucking come out there guns blazing, you shit on them and it's just super satisfying.
All it
Or
takes is a
no,
well-placed
not
frag.
not the crane. When some assholes on that fucking rooftop in high rise where you have to fucking do the jump on thing and
Yeah, the teddy bears.
that was a dick spot.
I love that
But the
spot.
fact that the game had those kinds of spots was awesome.
Verticality.
Verticality. Something that fucking
That was
Sledgehammer
to the
wouldn't know
extreme
about.
though.
Whoever designed the levels in World War II has never even heard the word verticality in his entire lifetime.
Yeah, those maps weren't very good.
Super Sprint.
Best mechanic needs to be mandatory in all. It needs to be a crime not to have that in your COD game.
I can't play Modern Warfare Remastered anymore. Super Sprint
It's
is
depressing.
absolutely necessary. Everything else feels slow now. I don't know why they haven't done that way sooner.
It's really good.
So I'm definitely 100% like all fucking for it. Sprint out times and everyone's bitching about them.
Ah, here we go with those. I felt the sprint on times were really nice. I didn't have too much of an issue with it. And I liked how you mostly, if you knew somebody was coming, you had to be aiming down sights, and you would instantly melt them. Like to me,
Right.
that's what good gameplay is. Not two people running at each other, smacking right into each other, and then fighting it out. Like that, I don't. That's a Black Ops type thing. It's always has been with that kind of thing. I like the sprint on
Yeah,
times that we have.
and these people want like every fucking attachment in the book. Like they want all 5 slots, and not only do they want all 5 slots, but they're like, oh, I want the heavy duty barrel and the fucking drum mag, and I'm like, yeah, well, no wonder your sprint out times fucking suck. No wonder you're bitching about it. Like that's not a rusher's class in this. Like you can't just have like a fucking 20-pound rifle and think that you're gonna pull up before someone who has an AUG with like a damn near nothing on it. Like that's crazy. I think that people need to shut the fuck up about sprint out times. Like they're just getting really ridiculous with it. This isn't Black Ops 3. Stop trying to
Black Ops
play
3
it like
with
it is.
dexterity it was a crutch perk.
Yeah, it is. I don't play Black Ops 3 anymore at all, thank God. But when I did play Black Ops 3, I didn't play it like it was Modern Warfare 2 because it's not Modern Warfare 2. Completely different games, totally different styles to them. Um, so the Reddit in general, how fucking toxic it is now.
90% of the Reddit is people complaining about the same issues as everybody else, and 10% of the Reddit is actual constructed, well placed feedback.
Yeah, that's not a good ratio.
I think a lot of the people that are in that 90% category sit there and have a few bad games and complain, or it's not the way they thought it was going to be and complain, or it's not a reskin of the previous game like we've had for years now, complain.
But I think there's also a serious like silent majority of players who actually like the game, and they're just like not the kind of people who take to Reddit to voice their opinion. You just have like the most vocal, pissed off people on Reddit. It's like writing a I don't know. I don't write Yelp reviews because I'm not a fucking 40-year-old mother, but like it's like writing a Yelp review or something, or like complaining about something. Like no one goes on Yelp really to write an amazing review, or at least not as many. But there's a lot of people who go on Yelp to bitch, or there's a lot of people who would like call in somewhere to complain or whatever. Very few people would call somewhere to like give a compliment. It just doesn't happen.
That's with anything, though. I mean, you want to review
Yeah,
on anything, you're always going to check to see if there's anything negative first.
of course. Um, so we kind of already said our piece about the mini map, but is there
Minimap
anything
needs
else
to
that you
be
want to
disabled.
add?
It needs to be. It breaks the flow. I get it that people want their map. They want to be red dot chasers, which is what it's always been. But the moment we take that is the moment we take away from the actual gunplay. We take away from the graphics. We take away from the sound. We
Yeah, I agree.
start. We put the minimap on there, and it's like, okay, now I have to look at this minimap. I have to look at this minimap. I have to look at this minimap. When all I want to do is focus on my weapon and what's in front of me and what I hear.
Right. No, I think you hit it on the head. That's spot on. It's like I'm not really actively looking for targets. Like when I'm just darting back and forth looking at the mini map, it sucks and it ruins the immersion for me at least. And I think that's a big reason why I think hardcore feels so good for me. Is not only because when I fucking shoot someone they die, but because in hardcore there's very little room for error. You have to be so much more attentive.
And one of the most controversial subjects.
Time to kill in core. I don't want them to change it at all. If anything, I'd want it to be faster, but I'm totally okay with how it is right now. I think it's perfect. Actually, you know what? I would want it to be faster because I don't want someone to be able to like SMG someone across the map. I think that the way that it is right now, like all the categories play perfectly, like for like what their
That's
roles are
nice.
supposed to be. I think the time to kill is great, and I don't want the whole like, oh, I want to be shot in the back and I want to have time to turn around and shoot back. Dude, fuck
It's
you.
like it's your
If
fault
you're,
for letting somebody get up behind you.
yeah, I agree. So, no, I definitely don't want time to kill change like at all.
Black
I
Ops
think
4
it's
had a
perfect as is.
terrible time to kill.
Yeah, well, their hit detection sucks. Their time to kill is slow, and they upped it to 150 health. Like that's crazy. That's
You
garbage.
could have 200
You
if you
run it.
used
You run up
body
behind a
armor.
team and you use one mag on one person. You play Modern Warfare 2 in core with stopping power and whatever gun,
Two
even like the
shots.
M4. You can down a whole team in a mag if you get up behind them. But it's just not possible in like Black Ops 4 or even Black Ops 3. That's lame. If you flank an entire team, you deserve it, all those kills. Um, so I guess in closing, Things that we want to see next weekend and in the full game.
Next weekend, I want to be able to have a couple more kill streaks, some more weapons and perks to play around with, and I want to see a couple more maps because I want to get a feel for how all the maps are going to be in that game.
Yeah, pretty much the same for me. I definitely want to see more attachments for the guns that we already have, though. Like, I want to see more attachments for the M4 and the AK and stuff.
Full
I definitely
release,
want access to all the perks.
that would be nice. I want to be able to at least try those out.
Especially
Full
since,
release,
like,
I
the
want more
default
weapons.
classes had them.
Yeah. I think the default classes, the perks that we get in those should be unlockable.
We already have a pretty good amount of guns, like, in this beta. But yeah, full release, I definitely want to see more guns from, like, the start. Like, I want to see the G36, like, I want to see the Vector, I want to see the, fuck, man, I don't know, the RSAS. That was a gun I really liked.
the what was it called? We nicknamed it the Rassasass, I think.
I think
that's what
Brad
they call
said
it.
that, yeah.
Yeah. That gun was fun.
I want the M1014, 2 shotguns or 3 shotguns, whatever, it's not going to cut it.
4.
Oh yeah, 4, you're right.
There's
I want the
I
want the KSG, I want slug attachments for those guns. I want, like, I want to be able to choose between, like, that or Dragon's Breath shots, or I want all that shit.
Definitely want to see attachments for the launchers.
I want machine pistols, but I know they're probably not coming.
I miss the G18s.
I want the Raffica. I want the Glock 18. I want all these guns to be named their real fucking names, which probably won't happen. Like,
I
what
can
is the
live without that, though.
X16? And the Desert Eagle's not even a Desert Eagle, it's a 50 GS. What the fuck is that?
We'll just have to see.
Yeah, but anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?